LA Crips leader, and because of that economy and the destruction of allowing people to have access to lower paying jobs through removing them for AI and robots at these fast food restaurants and leading to an economy that's making people tighten their belt a little bit more, you're pushing more people to these people here, these gangs, the people who prey on the desperate, people who prey on the weak. LA Crips leader who feds say posed as anti-gang activist arrested on charges including racketeering. Mr. Man says, I'm ordering some fried chicken and watermelon on layaway. Big U, if you don't know, the Rollin 60s, one of the Rollin 60s back in the day, went to prison, got out. I think he got out like 20 years ago. I think I don't know how much time exactly he served. He served a little bit, got out, just said he wanted to do something positive, decided to be an anti-gang activist, created a foundation to help young men have options away from going to the streets and to gangs. Turns out he was lying, that he was actually using that as a cover for his extortion business that he was doing, which we already knew. California, LA in particular, but California is known for their gangs are known for extortion. Like you have a lot of places like Detroit with Trick, no-fly zone. If I ban you from coming here, if you come here, it's gonna get done to you. You're gonna get robbed or something worse. If I'm telling you, don't come here. Other places are the same way. California don't do that much. You don't hear them come out and tell somebody not to come back to California. It's like, no, come on over here. They'll actually convince you everything is cool, and it's cool, it's whatever. Then you get there and you're gonna have to pay some money to get up out of them situations they're gonna put you in. They like to put people in trick bags out there in Cali. But federal prosecutors arrested and charged the alleged leader of the Los Angeles Crips gang subset, who they claim posed as an anti-gang activist, the U.S. Attorney said. Eugene Henley Jr., 58, also known as the alias Big U, is the leader defendant named in the criminal complaint and was unsealed. That was unsealed Wednesday. The court documents accuse Henley, a prominent leader of the Rollin 60s chapter of the larger Los Angeles Crips, of running a mafia-like organization known as Big U Enterprise. The Department of Justice said Henley surrendered himself to investigators Wednesday afternoon after charges were announced. Let me play this video here of him going to turn himself in.
It's going to probably be my last video. I'm going to go turn myself in to see what's going on. They talking about him.
Nigga know exactly what's going on.
They just raided all my houses. 600 was actually with the police when they raided my house. And he's actually got video and footage of it. So y'all know what y'all dealing with. And I just want to say this to y'all. When they raided my houses and my property, they was asking about whack, loose cannon, 600, and this internet stuff. All of y'all filed. All y'all who be sending shit around the internet, all y'all who be promoting and listening to what these niggas saying, all y'all giving these likes and hidden likes, all y'all supporting this. All y'all guilty of this fuck shit. If you had something against a black man, you should handle it with a black man in the streets. Wack said 100 times he was gonna take my contracts. He working with the FBI. The FBI went to the city 3 days in a row and told the city they didn't want nobody to give me no more money. They went to all the different celebrities and told all the different celebrities, don't give me no money, don't help me, don't do nothing for me. They going around scaring and intimidating everybody. But y'all sitting it around getting people in trouble. Like y'all don't understand what the FBI do to black men who try to help their community. I ain't been nothing but a help to our community. But I guess it is what it is. This the price of being black and trying to help somebody, trying to help your community and do what you can. You're just guilty because somebody else don't like you and they can go on the internet and do what the fuck they want to and y'all gonna promote it. It's crazy. But I'm going to go turn myself in, though. Because I ain't did nothing. It's going to probably...
See, this is what get me... It's crazy to me how often these dudes will spend a chunk of their life robbing, shooting at, killing. So the worst you could think of. Get older. Fake like they're doing something positive. Sorry. Fake like they're doing something positive. And then start talking this black thing. as a black man. Talk to me as a black man. Hey, was you saying talk to me as a black man when you was beating on, shooting at, and killing those dudes back in the day? When you were rolling for your gang, your Rollin 60s Crip, when you were repping your set, and you saw another black man from another set, and you decided it was on site, did you want to just talk to him as a black man? Did you see him as your brother? These niggas, boy, I swear to God. Braden says low vibrational niggas, 58 going to jail is crazy. He was out of jail for 21. I think he been out of jail for 21 to 25 years, something like that. 21 years, something like that. 20 plus years. So that means you was doing dirt as a youth, went to prison, got out, got a chance to do something right, and still was doing dirt. You still did dirt. Like you have a foundation. You have backing from people giving you money. It's real. Like they think you're doing something positive, and you still manage to fuck it up. You still manage to taint it. You still manage to turn it into something that's a negative. You found a way to do that. You did that. They said 2025 is where I learned that Crips is an acronym. Well, they have many names for it, what the Crip mean. Mr. Man said he's a booty man. Brent says, when all else fails, play the black man card. When it's your lawyer, niggas turning yourself in without representation is diabolical. Where your bread? Yeah, I was listening to Wack point out. Wack said, well, nigga, why are you turning yourself in with your homeboy? You should have a lawyer who's telling you, first off, you should not have made any videos saying you're turning yourself in. You got on the internet and immediately told people, hey, Wack snitching, 600 snitching. They trying to take down a black man. You pretty much admitted that you might be guilty of something. You said in the video, in another one of these videos you released, you said, I was out of jail for 20 years, man. It is what it is. But I ain't done. That was you submitting it as over, by the way. You was kind of saying it's over. Then you try to say, oh, but I ain't done yet. I ain't going down yet. No, you know. And ain't none of my business. But you know more than likely, if the feds are on you and you hit with a RICO, like, you know, it's over. They only let you know it's over. They only let you know about it when it's already done. The investigation apparently been going on since 2021. And also, part of the case is a murder of a young man who was a football player. Very sad. A young man apparently that he allegedly went and got because he said he made a diss song. This is a young kid, by the way. He was a football player who was a part of, I guess, supposed to be a part of one of his programs to help the youth. He accused him of making a diss song, and the kid popped up, dead in a ditch. He left him in a ditch, allegedly. I don't know if he actually did it or not. That's what they're accusing him of. These are the people that's now talking about as a black man. You killed a young black male who had a whole life ahead of him. You 50-something years old, and you killed somebody who hadn't went to prison, who hadn't committed crimes that got their life destroyed and they had no opportunity, who still had a chance. Keeper says he's clearly a genius. Yeah, clearly. But it is what it is. He'll get what he deserves.
This afternoon.
Hopefully he gets what he deserves. And only what he deserves. Let me play this now.
This afternoon, the alleged leader of the Rolling 60s Crips gang made his first appearance in federal court. In fact, we just got this sketch in from the courtroom.
And they told y'all, they've been telling y'all, Trump and his administration and anybody associated with a certain party, they've been saying, we're coming after the gangs. They told you. They've declared you terrorist. And you still moving. I don't get it.
The judge ordered Eugene Henley Jr. to remain in federal custody at least until his detention hearing, which is now scheduled for March 31st. Henley turned himself in to federal agents yesterday. Investigators also looking into his charity and how he used donations and grant money. NBC4's Alex Rozier joins us live with reaction you will see for the first time only on 4. Alex.
Colleen, Eugene Henley Jr.'s charity received millions of dollars in grant money from the city's GRID program. That's the Gang Reduction and Youth Development Program. But the feds say his charity was a front for his criminal enterprise. And today we're hearing reaction from other grant recipients.
Brady says, truth be told, a gang member don't have nothing on politicians. Agreed. Like I said last week, a lot of the politicians are funded by gang members. drug kingpins, a lot of their campaign funding, especially the ones that start out on these local levels, their funding started with somebody who was in the streets. And as they get older, not older, but as they get more into the politician arenas and go up the ladder, they try to disassociate themselves from the street dudes, and that's when you see some stuff that's kind of funny, whether it be some extortion going on, or somebody pop up dead, or a case come down on a certain crew, and you're wondering who snitched on them. No, it was the dude who made it in politics, who once he got tired of being associated with you, he just told on you. He worked with the feds. So it's one of those situations where you got the street dudes who are street, you got the dudes that play both sides and try to have one foot in, one foot out. Those are the worst ones, because that means you know what you're doing is wrong, and you try to act like you're better than what you is. You're not willing to stand on it completely.
Who reacted to this news? Eugene Henley Jr., known as Big U, is well known in the community.
This season 2 of Checking In.
On his podcast seen here on YouTube, he's been joined.
And he named the podcast he had Checking In.
By celebrities like Nick Cannon.
I grew up in a church.
And Snoop Dogg.
The big homie.
Yes, sir.
But Big U's also known for his nonprofit, Developing Options, that works to reduce gang violence.
They do tremendous work with youth, particularly around sports and gang intervention.
Dr. Robert Cesato runs Community Build, another organization that works on gang reduction, and he knows Big U. Your experience with Big U has been positive.
Oh, absolutely positive.
And that's why he was stunned to learn of his arrest. The feds say Big U ran a criminal enterprise that committed a series of racketeering crimes, including extortion, human trafficking, fraud, and the 2021 murder of an aspiring rapper.
I was shocked to hear, but we're always shocked when we hear the initial news. And that's why I always tell people, hey, let's not rush to judgment.
The feds also said Henley Jr.'s charity was a front for his criminal enterprise.
Mr. Henley is accused of embezzling donations made by celebrities, professional athletes.
Court papers said Developing Options has received millions in grant money from the City of LA's Gang Reduction and Youth Prevention Program, known as GRID. Dr. Cesato's nonprofit is also a GRID grant recipient, and even after the arrest, he's a big believer in the program.
The GRID.
Regina said, the reporter sounded like he wanted to choke on the word positive. It tasted nasty in his mouth in that moment.
Intervention and prevention employees across the spectrum of GRID agencies are really the silent heroes you don't know anything about or hear about. Several years ago, when murders in Los Angeles were at a high of 1,200 per year, that number's come down to, I think, just over a couple of hundred per year. And that's a direct result of us doing the type of work we do.
Not only does Dr. Cesato believe in the program, he still speaks highly of Big U's charity.
I am aware of the great work that they've done in their section of town.
But Developing Options leader is now in custody, facing the possibility of decades behind bars.
We just need to let the process take its place and see where it lands.
Brain says when they decide you no longer need it, the hammer drops and all associated cut ties, same salad, different dressing. That's another thing. I saw a lot of people I saw a few people, and most people didn't say this at first. The fact that he got hit with this, with the connections that he got, means he might be an informant. You went into prison, you get out, and you immediately get access to these type of resources. You get city grants. It wasn't immediate, obviously. I'm sure over time he built some level of rapport with people. But you were allowed to build a relationship with people with all these resources. Is it possible he was some type of informant or some type of person working with the feds and wasn't willing to give up certain people? Or we know all the time that there are instances in history where a person will turn informant, turn fed, flip people, and then he'll go on with his life for the next 20 years, 15 years, and then at some point the feds just come back and say, no, we want you too, though. Because there's, in our deal that we made, there's crimes that we're going to let you slide with, but you've done things now that we can recharge you with for something else. We can charge you with something else now. So they just come back and get you later on. And that's how they trick a lot of these dudes, so, yeah. I did see a lot of people saying that Whack 100, who's been threatening certain things for a while, that he might be the person who did a lot of this work. But I want to say this, they didn't need Whack 100 when you got videos like this.
Movie production in the hood. That's how we do it, man.
Top flight, baby. Security.
GB running this here movie set in the hood.
Come on out here.
Coming out here and checking in with GB, getting his movies done. You better know it. You know, anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just check it in. We can make sure it's done. Movies, videos. But if you don't check it in,
Oh, well. Check your ass.
That's extortion.
we're going to check you in, all right? We're going to check in all of your equipment. We're going to check in all of your equipment.
And that's why I say when people say, oh, man, these so-called gangsters and thugs get on the internet nowadays and they telling themselves, well, it's the old dudes, too. If this existed in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, 60s, they would have got on the internet and snitched on themselves the same way because they want attention just as much as everybody else. They want people to know that they're doing these type of things. They don't want to be quiet and just do things quiet. Ain't no gangsters no more. They're just gang members. Brayton says, do you know how much the USA paid informants in 2024? Insane. Snitching is a business. Didn't they say that informants get $50,000 a year or something like that? Like individual, $50K. That's not terrible. But I'm pretty sure that's based on the scale of what type of informant you are. Are you snitching on the white collar insider trading people, or are you snitching on the normal on the corner drug dealer? Eugene says that was a bar. Thank you. Anyway, and speaking of that, let me jump to this. Wack 100 denies Big U claims he helped feds build Rollin 60's RICO case. Yeah, I don't agree, bro. One of the guys that was arrested, his name is y'all might not know. His name is Brick Baby. Brick says millions. Warner Brothers movie studio. Oh yeah. The guy named Brick Baby, gang member on a podcast, No Jumper podcast. So you have Brick Baby, you got all these other gang members that this white dude is bringing on his show. Same thing as Vlad. The dude from Philly. I remember the dude from Philly snitched on himself and got himself a life sentence, pretty much. Talking about how his plug gave him his plug when he died and all that he sold crack and all that. He was just telling on themselves. These dudes get on these cameras and they want the world to know how much of a gangster they are, how much of a thug they are. And they tell themselves, and it's the cops just got the easiest job in the world now. These rappers or these entertainers, anybody with an audience, they just watch you. If I watch you for about 6 months, I have my RICO case done. 6 months is all I need. But yeah, this dude, Brick Baby, and all these people was Luke Cannon. Loose Cannon, I think that's his name. That's the dude that used to hang out with Wack on the show. He used to point out all these Loose Cannon. Because another thing that's tied to this story with Big U is Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle's murder a few years ago happened where he was shot by a dude. Allegedly, the dude came up to him and he was talking and he said, "You a snitch, don't talk to me." Dude got mad, pressed him, walked away, came back, killed him. Story didn't make sense because the dude that killed him went to a mental hospital to turn himself in to the cops. It just was a weird story all around. We talked about that when it happened. But the dude, Loose Cannon, I'm going to move past this because you may not care. Loose Cannon, he said that Big U called him and said, "Yo, Nipsey just got shot. Somebody just killed Nipsey." The Loose Cannon dude said, oh, he had a little conversation, hung the phone up, called somebody that know Nipsey, and said, "Nah, Nipsey cool. Ain't nothing wrong. What you talking about? Everything cool." Then he said 10 minutes later, he got another phone call after that. So 30 minutes after Big U called him, he got a call from somebody saying, "Yeah, Nipsey just got killed." Now, it sounds like you're implying that this Big U dude knew he was about to kill him, knew somebody was about to die, and then 30 minutes later it happened. But maybe that's just a situation where the time was messed up or something. I don't know. But that's another thing people bringing up in the situation. Nipsey Hussle. And then you bring up Nipsey Hussle, you got to bring up Jay-Z, the airplane stuff, and his attachment to Nipsey Hussle. It's a lot of stuff that starts spinning. Matter of fact, let me show this one. This is the Loose Cannon dude.
Team needs a bag. So what we do? Walk in the club. You had like 9 of your homies. It was like 30 of us. The security moved to the side. I said, "Meek, you know what's this?"
Meek Mill. He's talking about Meek Mill.
It's about you started taking it off and handing it to me. You was polite about it, Sugar Plum. You was polite. Sugar Plum, you was polite. I hear Rose.
Rick Ross.
Hey, look. I got this. You got this artist you pumping. You don't want this to get out. We need 50. He brought 52, Crenshaw, and 48. He brought that money. He brought it fast. And when he brought it, I hit Big Useless and said, we on our way. Gave Meek Mills his stuff back and left. And the team.
So he just admitted to robbery and extortion. Oh, God. But, you know, and it's funny how this checking in stuff only exists. We see it all the time when people bring up checking in. Everybody say the same things at this point. Y'all never tell the Mexican to check in. Y'all never tell a white person to check in, a Filipino, an Indian. Nobody got to check in with you dudes except another Negro. And to tell you the truth, it ain't really it's really only athletes and rappers. Because you don't really do that with actors either. They're too famous. The big actors are too famous, got too many connections. But the rappers and some of the athletes, they're the only ones that got to check in. Especially in Cali. When I was looking at Star the other day, and the dude brought up, one of his callers brought up, them Mexicans came into California and took the drug game from y'all. Just took it, cornered the market. And there wasn't much of a fight. Now back in the day, y'all would have had some race wars, but now when you hear people from LA talk about Mexicans, it'd be a little bit of soft shoeing. They don't go too hard. They don't go too hard when they talk about the Mexicans. You see, I saw that video last week. I showed a little black girl. The Mexican dude slammed her head into the desk and knocked her unconscious. That would be a thing in the 90s, the 80s. That would have been a thing. Now it's, you gotta let the authorities handle it.